Welcome back students. We are discussing about magnets and we talked about how can we make magnets, the process to make magnets, and we discussed two methods, that is by touch method, by rubbing the magnetic substance with some magnet, and then electrical method, electoral method, that we can make magnets by these two substances. Then making magnets means inducing magnetic properties in some magnetic substances. So inducing magnetism, that is magnetism, that we are making a magnet. But when we talk about the reverse, if a magnet loses its magnetic properties, if a magnet it loses its magnetic power, when its magnetism is removed, then we call it demagnetization. So demagnetization, it removes all the magnetism from a permanent magnet. So the magnets, they lose their properties, and this process is known as demagnetization. And there are various reasons, various methods by which the magnets are demagnetized. And these methods, firstly, the heating. The magnets, they lose their properties if they are heated. Then hammered. Being hammered, we use hammer, hathoda. Then if we beat the magnet with a hammer, or if we drop it from a height, then the magnet loses its magnetic power. And also using alternate current, using an AC current, it will also remove the magnetic powers from any magnet. But these things happens with permanent magnets only. We only demagnetize permanent magnets. So all specimens described here are either permanent bar magnets or magnetized steel and not iron. Means those permanent magnets can only be demagnetized by the different methods. So as we know, as we have studied, that magnets, they can lose their properties by these things. So we need to store them properly. We need proper storing of the magnets, because a permanent magnet, it tends to lose its magnetism after some time if it is not stored properly. So if we do not store the magnet properly, then it may lose its magnetic power, and this is known as self demagnetization. Means nobody is doing anything, nobody is doing any using any method, but if a permanent magnet, if it is left without being taken care, so it can lose its magnetic property on its own, and this is known as self demagnetization. So it is very essential to store the magnets very carefully. And the bar magnets, they are always stored in pairs with unlike poles on the same side. As we discussed, that like poles, they repel each other, and unlike pole, they attract each other. So magnets, they are stored in pairs with their unlike poles, so that they keep on attracting each other and their magnetic powers are restored, they are maintained properly. So with unlike poles, the magnets are stored in pairs, and they must be separated by a small wooden piece. If they are separated, then they will tend to be attracted towards each other. If they are together, then they will be joined together, and that is not the way that we can maintain the magnetic power. But if we have some wooden piece in between them, that will not allow them to join together, that will help to maintain that attraction force, and it will keep the magnetic field proper. And two bars of soft iron, which we call as magnetic keepers, they are also kept across the ends in case of bar magnets. So these they are known as magnetic keepers, which help in maintaining the magnetic field. They maintain the attraction with the magnet and iron. So these are known as the magnetic keepers. They help in maintaining the attraction forces, and it helps in maintaining the magnetic properties of the iron. And when we talk about the horseshoe magnets, a single piece of soft iron is kept touching both the poles of the magnet, and we should keep one thing that we need to take care, that we when we have magnets at our home, we are using magnets for different purposes, and we have proper bar magnets or horseshoe magnets if we have at our home, then we should keep all these magnets away from some things, some house equipments such as television, mobile phones, floppy disk, CDs, computers, credit cards. We should keep our magnets away from all these things. So because why should we keep them? Because they can get demagnetized by this, because all these things have some magnetic material in them, and if we keep the magnets with them, they can be demagnetized with the bar magnet, because it is a strong magnet, it can take out the magnetic properties and they can be demagnetized by this. So we should take care of all these things, we should keep them away from the magnets.